The air in the canyon is thick with the scent of blood and triumph. 7 of them stand over the carcass, their knuckles stained red, their breathing ragged. The Prehistops, a stubborn beast of horn and shield, lies on its side, a sharpened branch buried deep in its flank. Its stubbornness means little now. Kale, the oldest male, uses a fractured piece of flint to saw through the tough hide near the animal's armored PYGI, exposing the dark meat beneath. This is food for many sons, a victory that will be remembered in grunts and gestures around the fire. This is the brutal, rewarding rhythm of prehistoric life. They are Australopithecus, the clever ones, the ones who walk onto legs and turn stone and wood into an extension of their will. Then the world dissolves. A thick, white fog, born from the damp chill of the canyon floor, pours down the rock walls like a silent waterfall. It swallows the distant cliffs first, then the sparse, thorny trees clinging to the slopes. Soon, their world is a small island of rock and gore in a sea of white. The celebratory grunts die in their throats, replaced by low, anxious calls to one another. Visibility shrinks to a few spear lengths. The sounds of their own butchering become an ringworm loud in the sudden, cottony silence. This is a place of ambush, a place of things that slither and stalk. Every member of the small clan, a single thread in the vast, tangled story of hominid history, feels the ancient instinctual warning. They are exposed. The first sign is not a sound, but a feeling. A sudden, cold downdraft that carries no scent and rustles no leaves. It is a localized pressure change. Avoid pausing over them. Elara, a young female, looks up from the haunch of meat she is trying to sever. Her eyes, wide and dark, search the blinding white above. There is nothing. Only an impenetrable grey ceiling. She nudges Kale, pointing upwards with a bloodied hand. He pauses, his flint tool held tight, and listens. The only sound is the dripping of water from an unseen ledge. Then another gust of wind, stronger this time, directly above them. It feels wrong. The air should be still in a canyon this deep. A shadow detaches itself from the fog. It is not a shape, but a sudden, impossible darkness that moves with a speed that defies the eye. There is no roar, no screech of warning that echoes through the history of dinosaurs. There is only the whistle of displaced air and the shocking, percussive thud of a colossal beak striking flesh. One of the younger males, a boy named Rook who was on the far side of the kill, is simply gone, plucked from the earth like a berry from a bush. Choked cries cut short as he is lifted into the white oblivion. The clan freezes for a single horrified heartbeat. They see a fleeting silhouette against the mist. A head the size of a man, attached to a neck of impossible length, and then vast, leathery wings that blot out what little light penetrates the gloom. It vanishes as silently as it appeared. Panic, pure and undiluted, shatters their discipline. The kill is forgotten. Survival is all that remains. The mad scramble ends beneath a shallow rock overhang, a dark mouth in the canyon wall reach water. Kale shoves the last of the survivors, Alora, into the cramped space before pressing himself against the cold stone at the entrance. 6 of them remain. 6 heartbeats hammering against ribs in the sudden, echoing quiet of their refuge. Outside, the fog churns, a living entity that has birthed a nightmare. The Prehistops, their hard-won prize, is a ghost shape in the mist, already forgotten. They are no longer the hunters. That is a truth that settles into their bones, colder than the damp rock at their backs. The world of human evolution has sharp, sudden lessons. Minutes stretch into an eternity. Then the beak returns. It slides out of the fog with impossible slowness, a spear of polished, dark keratin the length of a full-grown man. It turns, this way and that, sniffing the air, its tip just feet from their hiding place. At its base an eye, larger than Kale's fist, swivels in its socket. It is not the hot, mindless eye of a carnosaur. It is cold, ancient, and disturbingly intelligent. It sees them. The Great Ace EHDR Chid is a patient hunter, a master of this vertical world. The beak probes the entrance of their shelter, too wide to enter, and then withdraws back into the white void. It is a promise. It will wait. Kale watches, his mind racing past the terror. He forces himself to observe, to learn. This is the gift of the two-legged ape, the foresight that separates them from bellowing prey. He sees the shadow of the grey creature pass overhead, a fleeting darkness in the brightest parts of the fog. He notes the massive wingspan, the way it needs clearance to maneuver. Is a sky god, but even gods have rules. It cannot dive into the narrowest parts of the canyon, and it cannot reach into the deepest crevices. It is a creature of the open spaces. Their prison is their only armor, but they cannot stay. The water is tainted, and the meat is out of reach. Starvation will kill them just as surely as the beak. His eyes fall upon their tools. The fire-hardened wooden spear is the sharp flint, a heavy femur from the kill that one of the males, GOR, had instinctively grabbed. Their simple, desperate arsenal, the first glimmers of an osteoid ontocratic technology born from necessity, feels pitifully small. Yet, it is all they have. Further down the canyon, Cal knows a place, a network of deep caves they once used to shelter from a storm. The passage to it is narrow, but there is an open space they must cross, a killing ground. An idea, desperate and utterly mad, begins to form. He looks at the spears, not as projectiles, as a roof, a moving shield of sharpened points. Using grunts and sharp, decisive gestures, he communicates the plan. There will be no running. They will move as one, a bristling, slow-moving creature of wooden flesh. The strongest males, GOR and Kale himself, will take the leaden flank. Every spear pointed up, angled outwards. A porcupine of fear and courage, he demonstrates, forcing GOR to stand beside him. The spear points creating a meager canopy. It is a pathetic defense against a creature that weighs more than a bison, but it is a choice. It is the refusal to simply lie down and die. With a final, shared look of grim understanding, Kale takes the first step out from under the rock shelf, his spear aimed at the sky, challenging the god in the mist. The spear shield is a fragile miracle. They move as a single, trembling organism across the open ground, their bare feet silent on the cold stone. Above, the great shadow circles, a predator studying a strange new prey. The silence is broken by a terrifyingly fast descent. The Quetzalcoatlus dives, not with its beak, but with its feet, attempting to shatter their formation with a glancing, powerful blow. A massive, cold foot smashes into their bristling root. GOR cries out as his spear is ripped from his hands, the force throwing him to his knees. For a heart-stopping second, a gap opens in their defense. Alara, quick and nimble, shoves her own spear into the breach, her knuckles white with effort. The sky tyrant soars back into the fog, having tested them, having found them weak. They know it will not be long before it strikes again, this time with the killing point of its beak. They reach the narrow passage, a deep, resonant scar in the rock. This is the place. Kale issues a series of sharp, guttural commands. The plan is a desperate gamble against the very nature of this ancient world, a bet that intellect can triumph over instinct. While Kale and GOR maintain their defensive stance at the mouth of the passage, Alara and the others scramble, gathering loose stones, their hands working with feverish speed. They pile them at the entrance, creating small mounds of ammunition. This is the next stage of their primitive technology, the understanding that a thrown rock is not just a weapon, but can also be a tool to shape the very air. This frantic cooperation, is the essence of what it means to be human ancestors. The shadow returns. This time, it means to finish them. As the colossal head descends from the mist, its cold eye fixed on the opening, Kel gives a sharp cry. Alara acts as the lurer. She darts out from behind the spear points, exposed for a terrifying second, and hurls a single stone high against the opposite canyon wall. The sharp clack draws the creature's attention. As its head, topped with a dull, keratin no US cranial crest, swivels toward the sound, the others unleash their volley. It is not a rain of stones meant to injure, but a cacophony of noise. Dozens of rocks strike the canyon walls, creating a disorienting storm of echoes. The passage amplifies the sound, turning the sharp cracks into a deafening, confusing roar. To the AZHDR chid, a creature of open skies and clear acoustics. The world has gone mad. It rears back, shaking its massive head, its creatures in frustration, a sound that is itself swallowed and distorted by the echoing chamber. It strikes blindly at a wall, its beak scraping uselessly against solid rock. This is their chance. While the beast is confused, baffled by a weapon it cannot comprehend, chaos screams the order. They run. They abandon the spears, the stones, their fear, and they sprint for the life-saving darkness of the caves at the far end of the passage. Tail is the last one, turning only to see the Quetzalcoatlus recovering, its eye finding him just as he dives into the safety of the deep earth. In the deep, silent dark of the cave, 6 survivors huddle together, listening to the fading screeches of a thwarted god. They are alive. They are wounded, terrified, and diminished in number, but they have done the impossible. They looked up into the face of a sky tyrant that had ruled this planet for an unimaginable stretch of time and refused to be its prey. This single, desperate act of survival in a forgotten canyon is more than just an escape. It is a spark. It is the birth of tactical thinking in 3 dimensions, the realization that the environment itself can be turned into a weapon. The spear shield and the echo gambit are the first sentences written in the long, bloody manuscript of human warfare and ingenuity. These small, frightened hominids did not just save themselves, they created a blueprint. They proved that the clever mind, working in unison with other clever minds, could defy the brutal arithmetic of size and strength that had governed life for 100 million years. We, their distant descendants, who build towers that pierce the clouds, carry the echo of those thrown stones in our very DNA. It is the legacy of those who first dared to fight the sky, a quiet reminder that our greatest strength was never in our fists, but in the courage to think our way out of the dark. In the chronicles of survival, the greatest territories ever claimed were not on land, but in the mind. But the sky is not the only abyss that holds monsters.